What's good, YouTube? SlenderRevolutionX here, coming to you guys today with my current Zefra Pendulum build. I'm thinking about playing this deck at Nats. I've been playing it for several weeks now. I'm starting to, iron out the kinks and everything in the deck. The deck's really powerful. I really enjoy playing it. My biggest thing with the deck is, like, if you win a dice roll, very rarely are you going to be in a bad situation. I don't have too many issues with it bricking, just because with the way the Zefras add to the pendulum mechanic, you only need a few cards in hand to be able to move through plays and progress your plays and combo off. So it's really nice. It's pretty consistent, like I said, so without further ado, let's just dive into the deck profile. Alrighty guys, so we'll start off with the main deck, starting off with monsters. You have, like, your engine cards. Pretty much triple Servant of the Endymion is who you want to see in your opening hand. It's just too broken, and with the addition of Zefras in the Pendulum deck, this allows so many plays to go off because you run so many spells that lead into other spells like Providence into Oracle into Zefra, which is 3 counters in itself. So, certain cards that you see just allow you to combo off with this. Then you have your other starter cards. Triple Dark Worm. I originally was running this at 2, but for the Guard Dragon plays and everything, you really want to see this card turn 1, whether you have to normal summon it or not. It's just a really good starter card. So those are your 2 starters there that you really want to see opening. I run 2 Zefra. 3 is a little cloggy just because, there's so many ways to get to this card, and this is really the only Zefra card that you want to search as far as monster wise. It's just this card gets you other Zefra cards. It's just progressing your plays further. I run 2 of the Zefra Nui. I run 2. A lot of people only run 1. I like this. It's a high scale, which the deck needs, especially if you're going to keep Zefra in your Pendulum Zone. You generally going to send him with the donut in your other Pendulum Zone, the scale 0. So you want to have multiple targets for that, even though it can be recycled with things like Vortex Dragon. I just like 2, just in case you don't have a way to get to it, or you open up 1, you're not going to be bricking and not be able to Pendulum Summon. So then we're going to go to my 1-of Pendulum monsters. 1, Jackal King. You basically want to bring this off of Servant to stop any hand traps from going off. The 1 Magical Abductor. This is kind of just an additional starter card. Just because there's so many spells in the deck, this just becomes free advantage that you gain. The 1 Zefra Thubin, just a low scale for the Zefrath. It also can get over problem cards with its effect. We have the 1 Aether for your Hieratic Dragon effect, to be able to spot removal a monster. I switch on and off between this and Sloth. I found Sloth hurts me a lot of times though, so this is just an additional removal, and it's you're out to Colossus and things like that. So if you end up not going first, if you go second and you main deck Sloth, it's just completely dead in your deck. Whereas if you go second with this, it's just spot removal for another monster and you can Pendulum it out, and it's not once per turn. So if you Tribute Summon for it and then Pendulum Summon it, that's 2 monsters that you can remove from the field. Gate 0, self-explanatory. The 1 Endymion, he's basically just another searchable high scale. I don't use him a whole lot for his monster effect as a body on the board, but it does come out, and his Pendulum effect is a really good out to Mystic Mine, which the deck sometimes struggles with. And then the last non-hand trap monster is Destrudo. Just allows you to extend your plays further. He's a dragon, which just makes for nutty Guard Dragon plays. And then hand traps, I ran 2 Ash Blossom. It's just the most well-balanced hand trap. I think it's just so versatile in the game today that this paired with another monster or another hand trap can really slow your opponent down, or this paired with an interruption. It's just so versatile. It can hit so many things. Then we have the Gamma package. I really like Gamma, especially in a deck where monsters are rarely on my board until I continue to go off. So if you try to Ash something of mine or Droll something of mine, this card just punishes people. And if you don't see it coming or have no out to this, it's a free Savage Dragon, which is insane. So that's all the monsters in the deck. Now on to spells. We have 3 Oracle of Zefra. Some people run 2, but I just think this card's too good at 3, and you just want the spell count to be really high in this deck. for your Endymion and for your like Jackal King, and just be able to get to your Zephyr plays. Like that's why I also run like 3 of the Providence, just because the Return of the Dragonlords effect not only is incredible, a lot of people forget about that and go to Twin Twisters your back row, or Twin Twisters your scale, and you can save it with this, which is pretty insane. Then we have 3 Spell Power Mastery. This card's nuts. Obviously searches your servants, adds a token if you already have a servant, and searches your high skill, so your scales are like essentially complete at that point. This card's just really wild in this deck. We have the 2 Terraforming, 2 Dragon Shrines to send Destrudo, or most of the time Darkworm. The 1-ofs, we have 1 Dragon's Ravine to send Destrudo, or most of the time Darkworm. Also kind of help combos along with this card, set rotation. Not only your Alta Mystic Mind, but like it can slow down decks that utilize utilize field spells by giving them the Oracle of Zefra that they can't play, so it's pretty nice. The 1-off Foolish Burial, same thing as Ravine, same thing as Shrine. Like you just want to get Darkworm into grave turn 1. We have the 1 Upstart Goblin. The deck is at 41 cards, but in a deck where you want spell cards and spell counters on monsters, like this just is like a really effective way to do that. So that's all the spells, and then I have 1 trap, which is the Zephyr Divine Strike, just like a searchable Solemn, which is kind of insane. Like this is most of the time what you end up with, on board with after turn 1, after you combo off. So that's it for the main deck. Extra deck, we have LP for my Link 1, and then Argopane to go along with it. No Pitsy, like you just really want to get through this. You don't really need the Pisty to progress your plays any further. The 1 Electromite, you know, it's a Pendulum deck, so you kind of need that. We have the 1 Hieratic Seal of Heavenly Spheres. This card's just wild. I'm really surprised that this exists in the game with the Guard Dragons. It just does crazy things. My generic Link 2 with 2 down arrows, just in case like you don't win on the turn where you make the Electromite, you have to have a progressive plays on the next turn to allow you to Pendulum Summon. The 1 Triple Burst Dragon for your Guard Dragon plays. The 1 Zephyr Metaltron for just like the big beater, 3 downward arrows, just like dominant. Also allows you to recycle things. Like it's just like I rarely go into this, but in situations where I do, it's like very grindy, and this like helps you pull you out of grind games. The last Link monster that I play in the deck is the Boral Sword, just for OTKs. Like if you're going second and you go through the Guard Dragon combo, that's like if you resolve Guard Dragon combo, that's free Boral Sword. My 1 fusion monster is Vortex. If you can get these 2 on board, it's a pretty wild, like pretty easy OTK situation. Like being able to bounce a monster, attack, switch defense, and then like have backup for anything that they would interrupt you with. So those 2 combo pretty well together. My 1 Exceeds monster is Abyss Dweller. In situations I'm against like Thunder or Salamangreats, like this card just becomes really crucial and it can blow out like the Salamangreat player for sure. And then my Synchros, I have the 1 Dawn Dragster. Still just a really strong card, especially against like Striker decks that are very spell-centric. I have the other 7 is my Cyber's Quantum, just for situations where, like if you have the Hieratic Dragon for Heavenly Seals, you put this on board. And in situations where I side sloth in, and you'll see that I side sloth, you can use the Hieratic Dragon. As long as you have another Link monster, they can only target this card. So they can't special summon it. Don't really have an out to the sloth in defense mode. My 8s are the Warlord Savage Dragon. I don't go into it a whole lot, but there is a pretty nifty combo that I'll show you guys at the end of the video. The 1 Scarlight for situations where you're going into time, you just bring this out off of the Argopane, and then blow up your field and cause some damage to your opponent. It's just like really a free way to win in time. And then last not least, Archfiend Abyss. I rarely go into him over Vortex just because Vortex recycles your Pendulum monsters, but this is still just like a really strong card and a big beater. Like it's basically like 6 in one hand, half a dozen in the other with which ones you want to go into. But that's it for the extra deck. We'll go into the side deck. The side deck I've been running, obviously this is going to take a little bit of work before Nats, but like Triple Lancia is too strong right now. I have double Danko and the 1 Sloth. Danko obviously for back row decks or when I'm going second. Like I kind of constructed this side deck like for situations where I have to go second because I feel like the deck going first is so strong that I don't really need to side a whole lot in. Like obviously if I'm playing against like Orcust or something like that, like these can go in no matter what, just because like in place of side deck cards like Ash, Like, these are just blowout cards against decks that need to banish. And then Sloth, obviously, if I see myself going first game 3, obviously you're going to go into this, or if I'm going first game second in this very extra depth reliant deck, like, this is just really strong. The spells, I have triple Twin Twister, triple Call by the Grave. A lot of people were kind of questionable about the Call by the Grave, but it's just too strong. Like, if I'm going up against Salamangreat players, like, I understand that, like, if this isn't in the main deck, it shouldn't be played. A lot of people look at it that way, but it's like, this even going first against Salamangreats is insane. Going first against, like, Thunder, it's insane. Going first against, like, a lot of different decks, like Orcus, like, if you go first against Orcus and can set this and kind of interrupt their plays with it, it's very game breaking. Like, this is one of my favorite cards in the game right now, and the fact that it's a 3 is kind of insane. And then the 3 traps that I run are 3 evenly matched. I know some people are, like, straying away from this card, but it's just like, it's such a blowout, man. If you could resolve this, especially in this deck, if I'm going second and we can resolve an evenly matched, you know, like, my deck doesn't need to attack to be able to win. Like, you're just going to, at that point, out-resource your opponent if they don't have answers to this, and then just win the next turn or whatever. Like, you don't need your battle phase to be able to set up an unbreakable board and then let your opponent attempt to work their way out of it, or through 7 negations or whatever you end up having. So that's the side deck. I figured I'll show you guys, like, one of the cheeky things that I've been doing recently. In situations where you can make the Boarload Savage, I've had it to where you have the Boarload Savage and then you have your Electromating Grave, because generally it's after the Hieratic combo, so you have the Hieratic Heavenly Spheres on board, Boarload Savage and Grave, and then this, and you can equip this for Savage Dragon, and if your opponent doesn't have any reactions to where, like, you want to bounce anything with this, you can bounce the Electromite back to the extra deck to be able to reuse it, and this doesn't lose its counters, which is really, really cool. So that's just one of the things the deck does. There's so many avenues of plays that you can go through. I really, really enjoy playing the deck just because it's so versatile and go through so many things, and, like, the first turn boards it's set up are kind of insane. I never saw myself with, like, as, like, a Zefra player putting out boards with, like, straight dragons and, like, 8 negates, and it's just wild. So but that is the deck profile, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any comments, leave them in the comment section below. If you guys have any questions, concerns, or anything about the deck, please feel free to ask those as well. And if you guys enjoyed the video, please leave a like up, and remember to subscribe to join the revolution today. This is SlenderRevolutionX signing out, and I will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.